शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकेर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को न याति परां गतिं यः पठेत् पिबतं रामचरितामृतसागरम् अतृप्तस्तं मुनिं वन्दे प्राचेतसमकल्मषम् गोष्पदीकृतवाराशिं वशकीकृतराक्षसं रामायणमहामाला रत्नं वन्दे नीलात्मजम् अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकीशोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम् उल्लङ्घ्य सिन्धो सलिलं सनीलं यः शोकवह्निं जनकात्मजायाः आदाय तेनैव ददाह लङ्कां नमामि तं प्राञ्जलिराञ्जनेयम् आञ्जनेयमदिपाटलाननं काञ्चनाद्रिकमनीयविग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमाननन्दनं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं वैदेही सहितं सुरद्रुमतले हैमे महामण्डपे मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितम् अग्रे वाचयति प्रभञ्जनसुते तत्त्वं मुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यान्तं भरतादिभिः परिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलं नमोऽस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यः नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः शरताय विद्महे सीतावल्लभाय धीमहि तन्नो रामः प्रचोदयात् आञ्जनेयाय विद्महे वायुपुत्राय धीमहि तन्नो हनुमत् प्रचोदयात्. Now we start with the Sundarakandam. Now, before we delve or we start with Sundarakandam, we have to know a little bit background about. 1 minute. Okay. So, Sundarakanda, before we actually start with the subject matter, we have to know the little bit background about this Kandam, about the characters who are there and so on. Now, if you see entire Ramayana, if you see, it is divided into 7 Kandas, right? Starting from Balakandam, that is the birth, or you can say story before the birth of Rama, till Uttarakandam, that is the children of Rama, Rama going back to Vaikuntha, the end of Rama Avtara, and so on. Now there are in all 7 Kandas, in all 24,000 verses, but still, if you see out of all the Kandas, now entire Ramayana is important, we do chant it, but out of that, Sundarakanda Parayanam is done separately, or Sundarakandam is considered to be auspicious out of all the 7 Kandas. Why so? Is there any specific significance? Now, if you see, it is not one of the biggest, or you can say largest, greatest Kandas. No. Subject matter, if you consider, just story revolves around 24 hours. That's it. Hanuman crosses over the ocean and Tato Ravana Nitayaha starts from there and he returns, he crosses over the ocean, searches for Sita, meets her, burns Lanka and he comes back. This is the only subject matter, 24 hours story revolves. Roughly about, you can say a few verses plus 2000 verses. That's it. 68 sargas. Nothing beyond this, right? And character also, there are no major characters. Now, if you see Kishkinda Kandam, if you see Ayodhya Kandam, if you see Aranya Kandam, number of characters are more. Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, they come across many Rakshasas, they meet many sages. You can say even in Ayodhya Kanda, towards the end of Balakandam, last Sarga, you have Sita Vivaham, Rama Sita Vivaham, so many important people, important events taking place. Sundarakandam has nothing of that sort. Just Hanuman leaps over, no major characters coming in. He just looks around for Sita, finally finds her, speaks to her, burns Lanka, comes back. That's it. Then why it is so significant? So anything all of you feel why it is significant? Before I tell you, you can guess why Sundarakandam is significant. I told you the subject matter, I told you the length, I told you just the character also. Just the most important character is Hanuman, only one. Why so? Okay, okay. So good qualities of Hanuman, good qualities on in general everything good has been mentioned. Okay. That can be seen even in other kandas, right? Other circles. Bhakta is glorified. Okay. So Hanuman is a great Bhakta, so that is described. Ah. Hmm. Yeah. So a major event took place, he found Sita. Okay. Lakshman Rawji. Hmm. Hmm. To meet Sita. Okay. Hmm. Central theme of Ramayana. Okay. Hmm. Correct. Okay. So basically, in short, if you see, Sundarakandam, why, as per the few answers that people give, was like the turning point of Ramayana. Sense of hope came into both Rama, or a new life came into both Rama as well as Sita. Okay. Now, let's start talking about the character of Hanuman. Now, first of all, if you see the character of Hanuman, why it is most relatable is today Hanuman is, you can say, one of those. Let me not say even one. He is one who is a bhakta turned into a god. Right? So basically, with Hanuman, we can relate in such a way. He's not a Nityatma, he's not a Mokshatma or something. He's someone called Bhaktatma, one amongst us. Therefore, people like us can relate very much. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that that we start comparing ourselves with Hanuman. We are nowhere close to that level, but still, like a bhakta. Now, we are all also bhaktas and devotees. We are also on the path of devotion. So, like us, Hanuman is also one bhakta. So one of those gods whom we can relate very easily. So that is Hanuman. He is a Bhaktatma. So a sense of satisfaction comes there. Okay, I'm worshipping a person who is actually doing what I do. That is devotion. That is bhakti. Secondly, the importance of this character Hanuman is though even today if you go to a Hanuman temple or a Rama temple and you're worshipping Hanuman, never ever we find Hanuman, you can say like at a godly position also. You go now, hardly there are any temples. I think there are very few, or maybe there might be not even a single one where you have only specific temple for Hanuman. Even if such temples are there, at least you will have an image of Rama there. Without that, Hanuman temple will never ever be there, or rather, it should not be there. It is not there, but still, even those temples that are dedicated to Hanuman separately, they will always have an image at least of Rama, if not a specific idol. So Hanuman is one of those gods who, as such, he doesn't wish to glorify himself also. He is a bhakta, he wishes to remain a bhakta. That's the reason why towards the end of Rama Avatara also he tells that when Rama says, come to Vaikuntha, everyone is coming along with me, I'll also take you along. He says, I'm not interested. I don't want to be here. I want to be in places where I don't want to be with you, Rama. I want to be with people who chant Ramanama, who sing your stories, who sing your glories, and so on. Rama says, why? Rama says, I myself am there with you in Vaikuntha. You can always be with me. Why do you want to be associated with my Nama or people who glorify me? Why do people do that? Ultimately, to see me, right? You have an opportunity to see me, be with me always in Vaikuntha, but you don't want. For that, Hanuman says, Rama, I don't want to see you. In Vaikuntham, nobody will ever worship you, right? Everyone, okay, now something is there always with us, we don't value it. Every day I see you, my bhakti might reduce. Therefore, let me be there with people who continuously chant your Rama, Ramanama, or chant Ramanama. That's why yatra yatra raghunatha kirtanam tatra tatra kritamastakāņjalim bāshpavari paripurna nochanam marutim namata rakshasantakam. Wherever Ramanama is there, Hanuman is always seated there. That's the reason Hanuman is one of the Ashtachiranjeevis who is believed to be even till date on Prithvi because he wants to be there with people who chant Ramanama and so on. Okay. Now, starting with the birth story of Hanuman. Now, the birth story of Hanuman as such is not highlighted in detail in the Valmiki Ramayanam, but in, of course, other Puranas we see. So, talks about his three Punjikasthala and Apsarastri. Uh, Apsarastri is now their main, you can say, duty or their dharma is to entertain Indra Adi Devata in heaven. So she used to dance, this, that, source of entertainment. Now, it so happened that she developed feelings, or Vayu Bhagavan also developed feelings towards her, and both of them, what they did is, now on heaven, they could not enjoy much with each other. Both of them, they came down to Prithvi, they came down to earth. And that's when both of them, they were playfully, they were enjoying with each other. And in that, what happened is, they went to a swimming pool, or you can say like a lake or so, and they started splashing water on each other, just as all of us also, you go to a water park or something like that, you see kids, right? They'll splash water on each other. So both of them were doing that playfully. And in that, what happened is, this lady Punjikasthala, while she was splashing water, by she didn't do it on purpose, but it ended up, a few drops went and splashed on a rishi called Devalaha. Now this rishi got very angry. He was doing a lot of tapasya for years together, and he did not like this attitude. Just as now also, you see even kids also, they splash water on us suddenly. It will be just a few drops, but still we get angry, right? Why did you do this? We ask them immediately. Similarly, the sage also gets angry. He ends up cursing Punjikasala, saying that you have developed, you are behaving, though you are an apsarastri, though you are a human being, you are not fit to be, so you have developed monkey nature. That's the reason you will be reborn as a monkey. That's how this lady Punjikasala is reborn as Anjana Devi. Anjana Devi on Prithvi. Now where does her birth take place? It takes place in Ballari. Ballari, Bilahari is the name of the place. In Karnataka, even today if you go Ballari, we say, right? Bilahari, a very auspicious, very, very auspicious place for Lord Narasimha. Today its name is Bellari. There this lady Anjana Devi was born. She was a monkey. Now, though she was born as a monkey, she was very intelligent, very wise. So her father was searching for a proper groom for her and felt that a monkey will be married to a monkey only. But now remember, when I say monkey, now there will be many people who will wonder, how come are we mad to learn stories of monkeys and lions and so on? Are we small kids? It's like a Panchatantra story or a Jataka tales and so on. Now please note, whenever we say monkey, be it for Sugriva, Hanuman, and Janadevi, or all the monkeys of Ramayana, note that they are not the monkeys that we see around today. We have a category, like you can say, let's not say early man or stone age man, but something called Homo sapiens or so on. Category of creatures called Homo sapiens. So they had human qualities, and but the physical form was similar to monkeys. It's just like human beings also. Now today's form of a human being, when you study early history also, the structure of a human being was different, right? Maybe our backs were not erect, or maybe we had a lot of hair, this, that. Does that mean that human beings don't exist, or is it a fairy tale? It's not like that. Same case. So just as evolution takes place in the case of monkeys also, Ramayana talks about that period wherein when we say monkeys, though they had the physical form of monkeys, mentally they were, you can say, consider them more smart than human beings. Now when we talk about characters like Hanuman or so, so therefore even this Punjikasthala, Hanuman and so on, even though we call them as monkeys, it doesn't mean the animal monkey that we see around today jumping from here and there. They also have qualities of human beings. So Punjikasthala, a right groom has to be found for her. Her father ended up finding a person called Kesari. Kesari, Kesari in Sanskrit, another meaning is lion. So lion among monkeys. She was very wise, she was very intelligent. She needed a suitable groom. That's when Kesari, he ended up marrying Anjana. Now both of them for many years together, they were not blessed with children. That's when they prayed to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, they did tapasya for many years. Lord Shiva finally blesses them, saying that my Amsha himself will come and be born to you. Amshavatara is Lord Hanuman. That's when, through the confluence of Vayu also, Anjana Devi gives birth to Hanuman. So that's how Vayu Putraha we call on Kesari, Anjana's son also, and Amshavatara of Shiva also. Now, when this now here you might have a confusion. How come did Anjana Devi marry Vayu Bhagavan also, or did she marry Kesari also? How come it is? Now here Kesari and Anjana together, they were not able to beget children for many years. That's when, with the blessings of Lord Shiva, an Amsha was born, and Vayu Bhagavan helped in the confluence of getting the eggs into the body of Anjana. So to make it very simple, today we have terms in medical science, right? You have something called IVF, test tube babies and so on. Test tube babies has got some reference as per the Mahabharata, wherein all the 100 Kauravas, how they were. It's not that 100 times Gandhari gave birth. It's not so. 100, the fetus that was there, it was cut off into 100 parts. So something that we call test tube babies. The first test tube baby was as a part of Mahabharata. Of course, that's not the topic here, but I'm just giving you a reference. So even today, the various fertility problems is that we face, the same thing happened somewhat here, and something like the modern concept of IVF that we have, the same thing happened, and Vayu Bhagavan helped in that. So that's how Maruti or Maruti, Lord Hanuman gets another name as Maruti, son of Marut Vayu Bhagavan. So why I'm giving you all these detailed explanation is nowhere there should be any place for doubt. How come this happened? How come that happened? Everything has happened. It's just that we have to know about things. So finally now Hanuman is born. Now topic comes Hanuman. What was the birth name of Hanuman? Hanuman, if you see one with a fractured cheekbone. Now which mother or which parents would name their child this way? My son is one who was born with a fractured bone. Hanuman is out of question. Anjaneyaha. This nobody will learn. Name some. Now, Dasharathi is another name for Rama, son of Dasharatha. Vasudevaha, son of Vasudeva, another name for Krishna. There is no reason to name this separately. It is but obvious. It is known. So, Anjaneyaha, son of Anjana Devi, Anjaneyaha. So, what was the birth name of Hanuman? As per references, it is Sundaraha. Many people are named as Sundaraha, right? Now, why Sundaraha? Seems that when he was born, he was very handsome. Everything was just beauty. Their life also of Anjana Devi and Kesari turned beautiful. That's why they ended up naming their son Sundara. That's why the name of Sundarakandam is also Sundara. Now, this was a bird story of Hanuman. Now, coming back, why this Sundarakandam is even called as Sundarakandam? Now, if you look at all the other kandas of Ramayana, Balakanda, Balakanda, okay, listening to this word Bala, you know, okay, has got something associated with childhood. So, childhood of Rama. Ayodhya Kandam, things that happened in Ayodhya. Aranya Kandam, things that happened in the Aranyam forest. Kishkinda Kandam, things that happened in Kishkinda. Yuddha Kandam, things that happened during war. Uttara Kandam, the concluding part. Sundara Kandam, beautiful Kanda. That is, it doesn't give a hint about the story inside. Why it is called Sundara Kanda. Maybe they could have called it as Hanuman Kanda, they could have called it as Sita Kanda when they met Sita, or Vanara Kanda because the Vanaras had put in a lot of efforts. Why only Sundara Kanda? It is believed, said that in the Sundarakanda, everything was so beautiful that they could not find any other name. That's why they ended up naming it as Sundara. This is one difference. Sundare Sundari Sita, Sundare Sundari Katha, Sundare Sundari Sita, Sundare Kimna Sundaram. This is a very popular verse. Seems that in Sundarakandam, Sundare Sundari Sita. Hanuman describes Sita when he sees her for the first time. She is very beautiful. Sundare Sundari Katha, the Katha story itself is beautiful. Sundare Sundari Lanka, beauty of Lanka is also described by Hanuman. Sundare Kim na Sundaram. In Sundare, that is in Sundarakandam, what is not beautiful? Everything is beautiful. The Kanda itself is named as Sundarakandam. One reference. Another reference, birth name of Hanuman is Sundara, that's why it is named as Sundarakandam. Now you know why Sundarakandam is called so, how it got its name. Okay. Till here is everyone following? Yes? Okay. Yeah. Now, this was the significance of Sundarakandam. Now, it is believed that whenever we listen to the stories of not only Sundarakandam, entire Ramayana, Bhagavatam, whatever it is, Romancham, that is hairs, should rise. Just as in the Kumara Sambhavam written by Kalidasa, there is a significance wherein the four Sanakadi Rishi, Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanat Kumaras, they come to meet Lord Shiva. And finally, when they worship Lord Shiva for a long time, and finally Lord Shiva comes in front of them. Kumara Sambhavam, those who don't know, one of the greatest works of Kalidasa, which talks about the story, the marriage of Shiva and Parvati, ultimately the birth of Kumara, birth story of Kartikeya. Very, very beautiful text. You can go through it at least once whenever you get an opportunity. So the Sanakadi Rishis, when they finally see uh, Lord Shiva in front of them, it seems that Romancham, that is hairs on their body, stand erect. Similarly, Bhattatri also, when he tells in the Dashakam 100 of Narayanyam, Agre Pashyami Dejo Nimidatarakalaya Valiki Lobaniyam Piyusha Plavito Danutadidare Keshoravesham Karunyarambarambam. Swada Romanchitangre, Romanchitangre, meaning the hairs you will stand are standing erect when I see you. Dashakam 100 of Narayanyam, Bhattatri finally sees the Lord of Guruvayur in front of him, Agre Pashyami Tejo. And when I see, he says, my hairs are standing erect. So it is believed that whenever you listen to Ramayana, whenever you listen to Sundarakandam, the hairs on our body stand erect. I don't know whether it happens with all of you. Of course, this depends on the speaker also. Maybe not in case of me, but if you have great Upanyasakars also who will speak well, if you have your own experiences, you will know that that is we are totally we don't know how to react. We become very very happy. So that is how it should happen. It seems when we listen to Sundarakanda. Okay, now this was the birth story of Sundarakanda. Now finally Hanuman is born. Next is now Guru. He has to find the right Guru. Now, Anjana Devi is very, very worried. Now, as we know, the childhood story of Hanuman, Hanuman was very naughty, very mischievous. So that's when he ended up getting curses and so on. A curse from a rishi saying that though you are so powerful, though you are very wise, Swabalam Vismritam. Swabalam Vismritam, meaning you will forget your own powers that are there. And that's the reason why in the Sundarkandam also when he had to cross over the ocean, he didn't know that he's fit for that. Jambavan and the other monkeys had to make him aware of it. So that's when Anjana Devi says, whom will I find? I want a guru for my son. What will I do? That's when now all the gods, that's when what happens is in another reference, as we know, he looks at the sun and he says, I want to eat this fruit. Anjana Devi says it's not a fruit. But then by the time she finished her sentence, this fellow had leaped. And when he leaped, when he was going towards the sun, everyone was being afraid. Indra threw his thunderbolt and Hanuman falls down. All other gods were trying to stop him. It was not possible. Finally, Indra, he threw his Vajrayudham. That's when cheekbone is fractured. Hanuman. That's how the name comes in. The cheekbone of Hanuman is fractured. The boy falls down. That's when all other gods come down and they bless him, saying that this is not a normal child. It's an Amsha of Lord Shiva himself, who's going to be a great devotee of an avatara of Rama. So, sorry, an avatar of Vishnu, that is Rama. So finally, all gods give boon. Come and they give boon this, that. You'll be blessed with intelligence. You'll be blessed with this powers, the Ashtasiddhis, and Laghima, Anima, and so on. Increasing your size, decreasing your size as you want, being very powerful. This, that. All the gods come in. They bless him with all kinds of boons. Finally, Surya Bhagavan comes. Now all boons have been granted to Hanuman. Surya Bhagavan wonders, what is remaining? What should I give you? At that time, Anjana Devi rightly comes. She tells, I want you to become the guru of my son. Surya says, how can I become a guru? I myself, I don't wait in any point, right? So, therefore, it becomes very difficult. I don't have time to even sit and talk because my duty is to keep moving. Sun rises in the east, sets in the west. For us, it becomes evening, but when it becomes evening or night for us, the sun has already risen in some other part, right? So, sun actually it works continuously. And as per our shastras, we have sun going around the Meru mountain, right? So, as we chant in the Sankalpa also, Vaivasvara Manvantare, Meroho, Dakshine, Parshve, Meroho is a Meru mountain. So around that the sun goes. Sun when it goes around, so then sun god he tells Surya Bhagavan tells Anjana Devi, this is not possible. How can I have to keep moving always? For this you have a very very great Subhashit, not great. Ratassekam chakram bhujagayamita saptaturaga niralambo margaha charana vikalassaratirapihi raviryatevantam pratidinamaparasya navasaha. Pratidinam every day aparasya navasaha. Around the broad big sky the sun goes about, it covers that distance every day. Aparasya nabhasaha. So therefore, Surya Bhagavan says, every day I have to do this. How can I teach your child? Jana Devi says, I want such a guru only who always keeps moving. Because my son also, he cannot sit in one place. He has to also keep moving. So therefore, he will go. You have to just follow him. So how Hanuman learns everything. Navavida Vyakarana Pandita. As we give the title to Hanuman, it seems that you would have seen the picture also. When Surya Bhagavan goes on his ratha, goes on his chariot, Hanuman faces him and backwards. Hanuman keeps moving. Surya Bhagavan follows him on his chariot. That's how Guru, Surya Bhagavan becomes a guru of Hanuman, teaches him. For us, learning grammar, grammar as such, if you see, is not taught much in schools, right? As compared to literature or language, it is always less. If you study 10 lessons, you'll have two topics of grammar. That's it. Those who are familiar with Sanskrit grammar, you know, or even by listening to the word Sanskrit grammar, fear builds up, right? Though it's not that difficult, it's just that we have to use 100% of our brains. So then it becomes difficult because we are used to using only 10%. So coming back, but here this man Hanuman, what he did is this person he ended up learning Navavida Vyakarana Pandit, not one grammar, 9 types of grammar. This was the buddhi that he had. Finally, the education ends, and then now comes the topic of Guru Dakshina. Now Surya says, "What Guru Dakshina? I will ask you. Like everything is there. Whatever I've taught you, you learn that well, and so on. You practice that. This is only my Guru Dakshina." Hanuman says, "All this is fine, but Guru Dakshina is very, very important. If I don't give you that, whatever I have learned, everything will go waste." From here, the importance of Guru Dakshina has also been highlighted. So then, at the time, the Sugriva thinks, "What should I ask from this boy?" And that's when he says that my Amsha, my own son, has been born in Kishkinda, in that is Sugriva. So you go, you help him, you be his minister. He will always need your guidance. So you be under him, you be as his minister. From that day onwards, Hanuman comes down and becomes a minister of Sugriva. So this was the birth story of Hanuman, how he attains, how he learns, and finally how he has become the minister of Sugriva. Now, delving into the story of Ramayana, finally now we have the Balakanda, Ayodhya Kanda, Aranya Kanda, Rama, Lakshmana are going about. They had Sita along with them to the forest. Sita has been abducted by Ravana. Now Rama and Lakshmana are in the lookout for Sita. Finally, they reach Shabri Ashrama. Shabri Ashrama they reach, and Shabri she gives them the fruits, and now finally Rama and Lakshmana are proceeding from there. Here, a topic about Shabri I have also highlighted in other contexts. Shabri ate the fruits, gave the same to Rama. No, nowhere it has been mentioned. It has got no reference that she ate and the same fruits from her mouth she removed and gave it to Rama. It is our conception, what we see maybe on the TV serials, films also. Under the name of bhakti, it doesn't mean that Rama did not follow anything called acharam, right? So there is no reference of this in the Valmiki Ramayana, nothing in Kamba Ramayana, nothing in Kalidasa's Raghuvamsham, even in the Malayalam Ramayana, Nepali Ramayana also there is no reference at all. That Shabri ate the fruits, the same thing was offered to Rama. Nothing. Even in the Raghuvira Gadyam of Deshika also there is no reference. So therefore, from where this so now you know when why I'm highlighting this is if something has to be misinterpreted, it becomes very, very easy. No text it has been mentioned directly. It has been mentioned Shabari ate the fruits and offered. That means she tasted the fruits and the same fruits were offered. This is our interpretation. You go to a vendor, you go to someone selling fruits, right? Grape vendor also. You eat one grapes. If it is sweet, you assume that the entire bunch is sweet, you end up buying. It is that way. You buy an orange also, the fruit seller will cut and give you one piece. You eat that, okay, this is sweet, I'll buy. That doesn't mean that the same thing that you ate, you will offer it to someone, right? This is how it has to be interpreted. This is our wrong interpretation. Some people will comment under the name of bhakti, anything is fine, this and that. Under the name of bhakti doesn't mean that Rama forgot his achara. Doesn't mean we eat from some other's. That's the reason why in our scriptures, or let's not even highlight the scriptures, basic living is apart from a mother eating her own child also, small baby also, from their plates you can eat. Apart from that, none of us we eat from some other's plate, someone else's plate also, right? We don't do that. In fact, in some houses if you see, even though we wash the plates and keep, still everyone will have a separate plate for themselves. But at least in today's time, of course, we don't follow much things. We'll clean the plates and then you use it, that is fine. But eating from the same plate or so on, that is restricted only to a mother and a newborn child. If the child doesn't eat, maybe the mother eats. That's true if the child is very small. Apart from that, no one should, or rather no one eats, and therefore Rama is no exception. We should not term Rama that under the name of bhakti he accepts anything. Bhakti is there, but for that you cannot end up doing anything. Doesn't mean Rama forgets all his acharam and so on. So this is an incident of Shabari. Finally, after meeting Shabari, both of them proceed about. Shabari, she tells, and with the help of Shabari, they reach Pampa Tiram. Pampa Tiram, they come across Rishyamukha Parvata. They are in search of Sugriva. As told by Kabanda, Kabanda says, you go and meet Shabari. She's a great devotee of you, Rama. Finally, you go and meet Sugriva. He will help you. So both Rama and Lakshmana are on the lookout of for Sugriva. Sugriva, little bit background of Sugriva. Sugriva has got a curse. Now Sugriva and Vali, Sugriva has been banished from the kingdom. His wife is also, Roma Devi is also with Vali. Now as per the story goes, Vali had a fight with a demon, Dunduvi, and or Maya. So that's when the fight took place for about 1 year it seems. Sugriva, there was a cave inside. Vali and the demon, they go inside the cave and they were fighting. Sugriva was waiting outside. Almost 1 year passed. No one came out. The demon nor Vali, no one came out. Sugriva is still waiting. Finally, Sugriva sees blood coming out. Sugriva assumes that Vali has been killed and he fears that now the demon will come out and kill me. So what he does is he takes a big stone and he closes the mouth of the cave. Then he returns back to Kishkinda. But here also Sugriva doesn't say that I want to become the king. People of Kishkinda pester, saying that already the king was away for a year. Now the kingdom can still not exist without a king. Let us make you the king now. So while the Rajabhisheka of Sugriva was happening, at that time Vali returns. He gets very angry. Sugriva tries to explain that I didn't want to become the king. Now also I'm ready to give you back the kingdom and so on. It was my wrong assumption. I assumed that you have been killed by the demon and so on. Vali does not listen to all this. He banishes Sugriva from the kingdom and he also captures his wife Ruma, Sugriva's wife Ruma. But Rishyamukha Parvata, there was a curse that Vali had that he could not, in a certain radius around Rishyamukha Parvata, Vali cannot come. So therefore, Sugriva he was happy, he was satisfied, and that's why he, with his small group of ministers, Nala, Nila, Jambavan, and Hanuman, he used to live on Rishyamukha Parvata. Now both the brothers Rama and Lakshmana are proceeding towards Rishyamukha. That's when now both of them, if you see, their appearance was quite deceptive. Why? They had worn clothes that were their bar garments, but they had a bow and arrow in hand. So this created more suspicion in the minds of Sugriva. That's when he tells now what to do. He called now Hanuman, if you see, he used to always be engrossed in tapasya. He'll be sitting in one corner, he'll be just chanting the names of the Lord or so on. He used to not get much interested. Now, just as in our own houses or our own families also, or in a group of friends, what you will have is there will be one person who will sit along with you, but that person will not be much interested, right? So you speak to him, you speak about him, you speak about something. That person will not show interest. He'll just be sitting there in his own world, right? Then at times we will he call that person and say, what you're thinking, see what others are telling you, also speak something, right? So like this, Hanuman was such a kind of a person. For him it didn't matter at all. He was in his own world. And that's when Sugriva, he shakes him, saying that see, two people are coming. And Sugriva ended up assuming that Vali had sent both the brothers. He said, see, Vali has sent someone, you go and ask them who they are, you go and kill them. Hanuman says, wait, we don't even know whether they have come from Vali. So at that time, Sugriva says, no, somehow you go, you find out, you tell me. And Tamviksha, he adds one line, Tamviksha, that is speaking to, after looking at them, after speaking to them, you give me a sign. Sign language, I will run away from here. He says, you go and find out. If they are truly sent by Vali, you give me some sign also, I'll try to run away. This again shows the nature of Sugriva. Now, this doesn't mean that Sugriva was a coward or so, but then he was also a very important person in helping Rama. But because he had faced a lot from Vali, automatically fear comes in. Very simple example now. In certain instances, out of our own experiences, fear comes, right? Now you touch fire also, or maybe some people who get an electric shock. At least for a few days or months together, even if you have to on a switch, automatically fear comes, right? So Sugriva had already faced a lot from Vali, so he was very much afraid. Anyone he looked at, he felt was his enemy. And therefore he said, no, I don't want to fight with people also. If some idea you get, you immediately tell me, I'll run away from you. Hanuman says, don't worry, let me go, let me speak, I'll tell you what it is. Finally, now Sugriva he sends Hanuman. Now Hanuman, he went in the disguise of a Brahmin, that is a scholar. Now why so? He would have gone in the form of a monkey. Now in those times, what used to happen is even all these people belonging to the first three communities of the classes, Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudras also, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, they used to also converse in Sanskrit, right? And Hanuman is an Avamida Vyakarana Pandita, obviously he will know Sanskrit. And he went and he converses in Sanskrit along with Rama and Lakshmana. But why he had to change the form and go? He says that if I go and talk to them in the form of a monkey, maybe Rama and Lakshmana will respect me, but still, let's say for example, if a human being comes and speaks to us, also we don't respect, right? Even though we are co-human beings, I am a human, all of you are human, we don't respect. Just imagine a monkey or maybe a small child coming and speaking to us something. What we'll say, it's a small child, leave it. What he's saying, we'll not just ignore, right? So just imagine a monkey coming and speaking and asking who you are, where you want to go. Automatically importance reduces. Therefore, Hanuman very smartly he changes his form and goes so that Rama can be more open and he go and speaks to Rama. So Firstly, now here what happens is Hanuman he does a blunder here. What he does? Sugriva Sachivo Nama Hanuman Namavanaraha. Now, firstly, he asks the whereabouts of Rama and so on. Then finally, what he says is, while he was introducing himself, Sugriva Sachivo Nama, Sachivaha minister and the minister of Sugriva, Hanuman Namavanaraha. So here there is a question mark. He came in the disguise of a Brahmin, that is a scholar, but while introducing himself, he says Vanaraha. Why so? Can anyone highlight? You know the reason? Hmm. 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 Correct. So this is one reference. Hmm. Correct. Hmm. Hmm, correct. So this is one thing, and here now as she said, this is one reason. But there is one more thing. It seems that while Hanuman was going in front of, that is, he was going to meet Rama and Lakshmana, it is believed that automatically his physical strength started reducing, it seems, and he had a lot of bhakti coming inside him. So just as let's not just make this to like a dream also. We go to a temple also to worship, or maybe you have a lot of crowd also in the line when we are waiting for maybe 2 hours 3 hours. You just bored, right? You look and up, you see when the line will go, you feel hot, you move about your handkerchief here and there, you ask people when it will go, what happened yesterday, how much time it took. We indulge ourselves in all kinds of conversations, right? But the minute you see that okay, now the line is proceeding, now I'm at the last stage, maybe I'll see the Lord immediately. At that time we forget all this, right? Immediately we don't know what to see, who will push from anyone, we try to look in the same direction. For a few seconds you see the Lord, you move, but the experience is great, right? At that time, after seeing the Lord, we don't sit and complain, oh this happened, that happened, or all those conversations that happened while we were during the line we were waiting in the crowd. We don't remember at that minute. The minute we see the Lord, automatically happiness or bhakti gushes in, right? So whatever complaints we had, at least for those few moments, we forget. Maybe later again it comes out. You know what happened? I waited for 3 hours, but finally I could see, right? So therefore, we always add this statement, but finally I could see. Same experience here, Hanuman also has. He says that I don't know what happened, but automatically all my physical power and you can say the will with which I went to inquire, who are you? Are you sent by Vali? Automatically that went away before I even started speaking to Rama. Automatically bhakti gushes in. Now this is the first meeting of Rama and Hanuman. Though Hanuman was a great devotee of Rama, from this minute onwards he turns out to be a Rama Bhakta. It is the first meeting of Rama and Hanuman. So, and secondly, just as Nalini ji said, when you see Parabrahma or Paramatma, automatically we don't see lies also. So he changes his form. So Griva Sachivo Nama Hanuman Nama Vanaraha. So when he says Vanaraha, this statement itself when he makes, he changes his disguise, again he becomes a monkey. And finally now when he knows about the back, but here note one thing, that being a bhakta also, he doesn't forget the duties of the minister. Sugriva, his king, had sent him to inquire about Rama. That he nicely does. Even though he knows that he is a lord or whatever it is, in that particular role, you have to do your duty. This is highlighted. There are many instances in the Ramayana, the Sundarakandam especially, wherein Hanuman tells us how one's life should be there. So here also he doesn't forget the duties of his minister. That is why there are things that we do for formality, right? Like, let's not say formality, but like, say for example, you work somewhere also, you might know few things, but still, like, you have to go for a leave also, right? You tell your manager I want to take leave tomorrow, he says okay, but still what he'll say, you drop a mail to me or you put it on the system. He has already told you, yes, you know you are going to get the leave tomorrow, you can go, right? No, still there are certain rules, right? Why? Because it's a duty. It is a part of the process that you have to apply a leave, the manager has to approve on the system or on the mail, whatever it is. Same way, that is one, whenever we live in, I'm just giving you one example, you live in a social system, you have to follow certain rules. Same thing here, Hanuman also follows. So when gods also have been following, when scriptures are also being done, who are we to break rules? In today's times it happens, no, I already told you, doesn't happen that way. You have to do certain things. You must never forget your roots, as we say. So here also Hanuman, even though he knew Rama, even though he knew that he was a great bhakta, he doesn't forget his first thing. So Griva Sachivo Nama Hanuman Nama Vanaraha. He doesn't say Hanuman Nama Vanaraha Sugriva Sachivaha Aham. He doesn't say that. Firstly, when he talks about his identity, he associates what he was all these years. Only now he is in front of Rama, but all these years he was under Sugriva. So he doesn't forget his master at all. And that's when he inquires properly about the background of Rama and Lakshmana. He gets all the details, then he introduces himself, and finally he takes Rama, Lakshmana, and so on. So here Hanuman is very, very smart and he tries to show a way, saying that if you are given some duty, you have to do that 100%. You should not forget, no, I know this. Like a very simple thing, some people try to do, or in fact, let's not blame anyone. But today, many things happen. Now, I'll give you something like kind of a bribe also, right? I'll give you something, do it. But here, Ramayana very staunchly, or Hanuman, the character of Hanuman very strongly shows this that if you have to do something, you have to do it correctly, you have to follow all the methods. You're there in a particular position, you should know what are your duties first. Swadharmaha. Just as Krishna also highlights in the Gita, he tells Arjuna, you don't talk about all other things. I have to save my cousins, I have to save my relationships. What is your dharma? Kshatriya dharma. You have tried all other ways, you have tried persuading them, things don't work. Now, for the welfare of the world, you have to take up this yuddha, you have to fight the war now. Dharma yuddham. So, like this, all our scriptures, this is one example from the Mahabharata, that is Krishna, when he talks about Swadharma, Hanuman also, he doesn't forget his own dharma. So if you have to do something, rules have to be followed properly. Only then dharma exists. Only then things will happen rightly. Nothing happens by I will do this, you by word of mouth also. So the same thing here happens. And here when Hanuman worships Rama, it seems that now though Rama is Naravatara, there are two instances. There are many more, but two major instances that come. That is the Jatayu Moksham. After Rama did the final rites of Jatayu, he tells Jatayu, now you will attain moksha. So that's when Rama, like Vishnu, in the form of Vishnu, he tells that now you go to Vaikuntham, you will attain moksha. As a Naravatara, as a man, Rama will not tell that. At that minute, he changes from Naravatara, like in the form of Vishnu, he tells Jatayu, now you will attain moksha. That is Jatayu moksha. Second difference here it comes, wherein he tells Hanuman when he worships Rama, Ayatashta Suvrittashta Bahavaha. Now, Bahavaha, this word Bahuvachanam. Now in Sanskrit, if you see Ekavachanam, Dvivachanam, Bahuvachanam. You have, though, just as we have singular, plural, one, many, Sanskrit you also have something called dual. In all other languages, it will be more than two is more than one is many, right? But in Sanskrit, more than two, or you can say three or more is only Bahuvachanam. Here, so Bahu is many, Bahavaha, meaning three or more. So here, why this reference I'm highlighting is Ayatascha Subrittascha Bahavaha. This is a statement that Hanuman uses in order to worship Rama, meaning one having more than three hands. That is Chaturbhujam. Rama, when Hanuman saw Rama, though Rama is in the form of a Naravatara with two hands, bow and arrow in his hand, still Hanuman could visualize Rama. He got the darshana of Vishnu, it seems, having Chaturbahu. How we get this hint? While he uses this word Bahavaha, Bahuvachanam, Bahu is many, but Bahavaha meaning three or more. So obviously he saw three or more hands, that is four hands, and he worshipped Rama. For this little bit knowledge of Sanskrit is needed when we study our own scriptures like Ramayana and Mahabharata, so that you can interpret it rightly. So here there are, though Rama is an Aravatara, he never showed himself as God or so, but there are few instances like this wherein indirectly, like here Hanuman worshipped Rama in the form of a Vishnu with four hands, or in the Jatayu Moksham, Rama tells Jatayu, now you will attain moksha. Normal man cannot say that. Can we tell someone now you are going to attain moksha? You don't do that. You can do the karma, but whether he'll go to heaven, hell, or so, we cannot decide. It's not in our hands. But Rama, because he was in that position, he tells Jatayu, now you will attain Vaikuntham, you will attain moksha. So here, finally now, Hanuman is also worshipped. Now here what happens is, after listening to the conversation of Hanuman, Rama tells Lakshmana. Now only one meaning he said, Sugriva Sachivo Nama Hanuman Nama Vanaraha. This was only statement that Hanuman made. Or Padma Patra Netram, he says, one having lotus eyes is Rama. Or Ayatascha Suvrittascha Bahavaha. He worships Rama. So this two, three shlokas Hanuman chants. And that is praises Rama. And listening to this, Rama is now praising Hanuman. How did he place Hanuman? Na nrigveda vineetasya na yajurveda नासामवेदविदुषः शक्यमेवं विभाषितुं न्यूनं व्याकरणं कृत्स्नम् अनेन बहुधा श्रुतं बहुव्याहरतानेन न किञ्चिदपशब्दितं न मुखे नेत्रयोर्वापि ललाटे च प्रवोस्तथा अन्येष्वपि च गात्रेषु दोषः संविदितः क्वचित् अविस्थिरमसन्दिग्धम् अविलम्बितमद्रुतं पुरस्तं कण्ठकं वाक्यं वर्तते मध्यमे स्वरे संस्कारक्रमसम्पन्नामद्रुतामविलम्बिताम् उच्चारयति कल्याणी वाचं हृदयहारिणी. These were the few words which talk about the communication skills that Hanuman had. So herein, Rama he tells that listening to whatever Hanuman spoke, we can make out that he is not only well versed in only Rig Veda but also the four Vedas, because for three Vedas. Now, in those times, Atharva Veda was not considered to be a part of the Vedas. So, three Vedas Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Sama Veda. He says only one who is well versed in the three Vedas, Rig, Yajur, and Sama, can speak this way, or it is not possible at all. Further, he says that Nunam Vyakaranam Kritsnam, until and unless one has studied grammar properly, or our Hanuman has studied not one grammar, Navavida, nine types of grammar. So, just imagine the way he speaks. So, therefore, there is not even kin बहुव्याहरतानेन न किंचित अपशब्दितम. He doesn't speak any, there's not even a single mispronunciation in his speech, no grammatical mistake, no, you can say a bad word or something that he uses, nothing. Speech is so fine, or you can say very, very crisp. Next is namukhe netrayorvapi. Similarly, when he speaks something, body language is very, very clear. Now, say for example, if I'm speaking to you, you cannot see me, right? But still, even if I'm on my video also, though you see me, you can see my facial expressions. Or when I'm speaking, now if I'm telling you something, through my tone or my the voice modulation and so on, the way I speak should be as if now all the 60 people out there, you are listening to me, right? But can I also be in the same now for you? Maybe few of you, what you're doing is you're just nodding your heads. Maybe some of you are closing your eyes. Maybe some of you are just sitting simply, right? You are seeing the screen. Some of you, maybe you're just keeping the phone nearby. You're doing something and you're just listening. This is the different things that you do. But for me, when I am speaking and when there are 60 people listening to me, obviously I must know that I'm in a position that whatever I'm speaking, the opposite person should be able to understand, right? There is no, I'm not getting any reaction from your side. It's not a casual talk. Now, say for example, we just meet, we say, tell someone hi, bye, or so. At that time, our body language is different. But if I'm telling something and if the opposite person is listening to me, if the person is going to follow, obviously my voice goes up and down. I have to speak in an explaining manner, right? Now, say for example, what you are doing this, that when we just speak in a single Sundarakandam is just Rama went here, he met Rama, Hanuman came and met Rama and Lakshmana, both of them went to Sugriva. The entire thing, if I just speak in one tone, obviously from 60 it will become 30 in a minute or so. Why? Because there is no proper voice modulation. Whenever I have to highlight on some important points, automatically my tone increases, right? I am talking about Sundarakandam. When I say, okay, okay, the main significance, importance is for Sundarakandam today. The topic is this. So, this is the way we speak. Now, say for example, if someone is angry also, automatically our eyebrows are crunched, right? Now, say for example, I'm having a smile in my face, but my eyebrows, I move my eyebrows, I scrunch my eyebrows, then we don't know whether the person is angry or you're happy, right? But if I'm very angry but still I end up smiling, there is no use for my anger, right? So body language, that is our body part, should also sync with the speech that we have and with the expressions. So it seems that there was no fault in that also. Rama highlights this to Lakshmana. He says the way Hanuman speaks, his body language and his expressions also match with that. Further, avistarama sandigdham, whatever he speaks, it's not too long, not too short. He's not dragging it, nor he's speaking very fast. Speed is also proper, everything is proper, and at the same time, he speaks in a medium tone. Tone is very, very important. Now, if I'm speaking to someone lovingly, automatically I'll have a soft tone, right? If I'm angry on someone, my tone rises. If I say ask some, I don't ask, but still if I ask, why you didn't come yesterday? Why did all of you miss last week's class? When I speak like this, automatically you know, okay, maybe she's angry, that's why she's asking. But maybe you have some doubt also, I tell you, the tone will be different. Or now, maybe when I'm explaining something, I'll have a medium tone, not too soft, not too harsh, it will be medium. So here Hanuman always had this medium too. So these are the importance of speech. Now communication skills, or we have something called soft skills, right? In today's times, people take up all this business communication, this, that you do, or etiquettes, email etiquettes, interview etiquettes. You don't need to do all this. In today's times, we pay lakhs of rupees and do this. You listen to the Sundarakandam, in the Kishkinda Kandam, this is highlighted. Kishkinda Kandam, chapter 3, verse number, if you want, you can note down the verses also. Verse number 28 to 32 or so, the first four verses. Kishkinda Kandam, chapter 3, verse number 28 onwards, till about 31, 32, whatever it is. Importance of speech or importance of communication skills, how one should communicate. This is highlighted by Rama in the Sundarakanda, in the Kishkinda Kanda. He tells this to Lakshmana. So Rama here, he praises Hanuman and tells all this to Lakshmana, saying that look at the way Hanuman is speaking. This is how one should speak. This is how one should be convincing. I'll give you a very simple example. You say you go to a shop to buy something, right? Now, some shopkeepers are so smart. What do? Say, for example, you go to buy one dress also for yourself. But the way they speak, we end up, you go inside the shop deciding that you want to buy one, you come out of the shop with five bags, five dresses. How this happens? Nobody has tricked you, nobody has fooled you also. But the way they speak, especially in case of women, maybe it might be happening. You want to go to buy a sari, you say, okay, show me these four saris. He will show you 40 saris. That is some business people they will do, especially if you go to North India, Gujarat also, the way they speak. That's why you see the people in the West, especially Gujaratis and people living in those who are business minded. People in Gujarat and Rajasthan, most of the shopkeepers or business people are them, right? Go to the shop, you can make out the way they speak. They'll say, okay, you don't want to buy, it's okay, but at least I'll show you. You see what I have, then you go, right? So that is automatically when you listen to this, we feel happy, right? Oh, see, he's not interested in me buying, but he wants to show what he has. Then you look and the way they speak and they describe all that, it is so soft, it is so pleasing. Instead of one, you end up buying five. You call it business tactics or their smartness, whatever it is, but we feel like going back to the shop again, right? But you see some shopkeepers, you tell them you bargain something or so, or you tell them to show something, and so what they'll say, I showed you so much, you don't want anything from this, leave it. If you want, you take it, otherwise you go. When you have this attitude, we never come back to the shop, right? So this is the importance of speech that is there. Hanuman, why I'm giving you everyday examples is so that we relate. So Hanuman also, he spoke to Rama and Lakshmana in such a way that he made them friendly. At the same time, very smartly, he got their information also to introduce them. His work was done. So this shows the intelligence of Hanuman. Further now, next what happens is now Hanuman, Rama and Lakshmana have gone there. They made Sugriva. Sugriva's friendship takes place with Rama. Now Sugriva, again Vali is killed now. Sugriva tells all about Vali. Finally, they make plans to. Sugriva tests in his own way Rama. That all we have seen in Kishkinda Kandam. And finally, what happens is next, both of them, Sugriva, he returned. Rama and Lakshmana, they live there nearby Rishamuka only. Sugriva gets back his kingdom, Vali is killed. Sugriva gets back his wife, Roma Devi also. And all this is done. Now what happens is the rainy season has come up. So 4 months is a break. Rama and Lakshmana are living on the outskirts of Kushkinda, roughly near Rishamuka. Sugriva is enjoying in his kingdom. Now Sugriva, he had a very bad habit of drinking. And this it seems that it has been highlighted by Vali earlier also. When Vali was on his deathbed, he tells Rama that everything is good. In Sugriva, he will help you, but he has a very bad habit of drinking. That is there. So in that, if he does any mistake also, you should always forgive him. So that's what had happened later also, right? Now there is one more reference here. More than Ruma Devi, it seems that Sugriva ended up marrying Tara. That is the elder, his elder brother's wife. Now, as per scriptures, as per Shastras, is this accepted? Now, if you see, as per Shastras, one's own mother, one's guru's mother, and an elder brother's wife, all these people are given the status of a Janani. It is a motherly status. How can you end up marrying her? But this reference, before we get into this controversy, this reference of Tara ending marrying Sugriva is mentioned in the is highlighted in just one line in the Sundarakandam, wherein Sushena, who is the father of Tara. Now don't get confused. Sushena is also the Vaidya, is a doctor of Ravana. Another Sushena is the monkey who is the father of Tara, Vali's wife Tara. So there he addresses Sugriva to be his son-in-law. Sugriva addresses Sushena to be his father-in-law. So through this we can make out that after Vali's death, Tara ended up marrying Sugriva. Some people will not tell this, but whatever is mentioned, we have to accept that. So for this, there can be many reasons. Maybe now Vali is anyways not there. So Tara had to live with someone, and in the society, maybe she could have lived all by herself also, but maybe in those times as a widow also it might not be acceptable. So therefore, maybe Sugriva would have married her. There can be many reasons for this, but in one line, Sushena is said to be the father-in-law of Sugriva. So through this, we can make out that Tara ended up marrying Sugriva. Now it seems that when Tara comes out, Tara is also fully drunk. Both of them they had this habit. So here all this is highlighted in the Ramayana. So that is what happened is four in short they were making merry. That was there the 4 months. Now the thing is here again it shows there are few learnings from Sundarakandam which we can take. Now Kishkinda Kand, not Sundarakandam, let's say Kishkinda Kand. That is when you don't have anything, we face a lot of problems, troubles also. But suddenly, when good things come in, we don't know how to react to it. This is a problem with human beings. Say, for example, one fine day you get up in the morning and you get 1 crore rupees directly credited to your bank accounts, you become mad. Right? Some people we don't know what to do. First of all, you go to the bank and check what is this. Right? Some people will do this, some people will leave it. But 1 crore, if suddenly it comes to our bank accounts, we are fully shocked. Why so? Because we never expected, right? Suddenly, if it comes, we don't know where that money goes. Maybe in a month or so, you finish it. And I have so much money, I'll put it here. I have so much money, I'll put it there, right? In that, it goes. Why it happens is when more power comes, more than expectation, when power comes, we don't know how to react. The same thing happened with Sugriva. He got his kingdom, he got Tara, he got Roma. All of a sudden, good things coming and falling. He didn't know how to celebrate. And at that time, he had a very bad habit of drinking also. And therefore, now he forgot in that he had to repay Rama. He had to keep his promise that he had given to Rama. So in this, he forgets. And now 4 months has passed. Lakshmana is blazing with anger. Now Lakshmana is an avatar of Adishesha. Seems that flames of fire are coming out from his mouth. And now this you can also see in certain temples in South India, wherein you have Adishesha, wherein flames of fire actually come from his mouth. That was his anger that was coming. He rushes. And at that time, before Sugriva faces Lakshmana very smartly, the monkeys they try to put in Tara in front of Lakshmana. But now Tara Devi is also fully drunk. So here you have a verse now. It seems that Sapraskalitam Madaha Vikleshanam. This is a line that comes in wherein Madaha Vikleshanam, Madaha, meaning she is fully, you can say, intoxicated. Now, when we drink, there is a reference for this. As per certain, it is like just you can say folklores or something. When people speak, they say that whenever a person is drunk, you go through a few stages of your life, you adopt the methods of few animals. Now, why all this I'm highlighting is so that we know that such habits that are told which are wrong people do for enjoyment also there are certain bad aspects to this also. So it's not that just because we are speaking about something in depth doesn't mean why should we even speak about drinking and so on, but where it actually leads, that is what is highlighted here also. So here it seems that first stage is of a crow, right? And you just now when someone drinks you see they'll just be cawing here and there, they'll just be speaking, they don't know what they're speaking, they'll be blabbering. Next stage, if it goes to next stage, they start singing. You see, some people when they're drunk, they'll sing. Cuckoo. Next, kokilaha or kakaha, kokilaha or pikaha. Next is start jumping, hopping from here and there. Monkey. Intoxication increases, a monkey. Vanaraha. Next is some people what they do is they'll end up giving you money, this, that from their pockets they'll take out and give. They don't know what they're doing, right? Karana, Danam, like Karana did. Danam. Next is Vibhishanaha, Sharanagati. Finally, you fall on the ground, Vibhishanaha. So, maybe on a lighter note, they tell this Kaka, Kokila, Vanara, Karana, Vibhishana, Sharanagati. These are the different stages through which a drunkard person goes. Now, in the case of Tara, we'll just talk about this for 1 minute, then we continue next Sunday. Now, next, through this, what happens is Sapraskalitam Madahapikleshanam. Tara Devi comes out from the room of Sugriva. She's fully intoxicated. The Nupura, sorry, the Kanchi that she was wearing around her hip, that is a waist ornament or udyan that we call, is actually falling down, it seems, because she's fully intoxicated. She doesn't know how to do. Now, Kanchi is another name for the waist ornament that we wear. Kanchipuram. It is believed that the waist ornament or the Udayanam of Bhuma Devi passes through Kanchipuram. That's how the place is called Kanchipuram. So like this, the Kanchi of Tara Devi was actually slipping down, it seems. Somehow she comes to track and she goes and speaks to Lakshmana. Further, what happens is how she speaks to Lakshmana. Finally, Lakshmana has cooled down. Then Sugriva also, he sends the monkeys in all four directions. All of them go in search. Finally, Rama hands over the ring to Hanuman. Why only to Hanuman? How it happened? Further, what happened? Let's look at that next time.